Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it is your host with the most, averylr32 here. What is going on, everyone? As you see a bunch of cards on the screen. Calm down, don't worry, I'm going to be explaining everything. First, I just want to get out of the way. I apologize for not posting in over a week. I've been super busy with school. I'm getting near to the end of the third quarter of school, and then I'll hit the fourth quarter, and then once I do another 9 weeks in the fourth quarter, I'll be off for summer vacation, and then I'll go into my senior year or 12th grade of high school, and after that year, I'll be done. I can go off to college. So I've been really busy. SAT, ACTs, college stuff, all that fun stuff. But in any case, let's get on to this video. So what are we doing today? I'm giving you guys my ban list predictions video. And then honestly, this is kind of what I've been working on as like a side project besides my school stuff and whatever. Is been working on this ban list here, and I've been trying to figure out, what should I, discuss and all that. Other than self-destruct button coming back to 3, like that shouldn't even need to be said. But I just want to leave a little bit of a discussion here. There are some things, as you can see, that I left out now that I'm kind of like looking at it. I did leave out Boojins. Boojins is one of those decks where it's like gadgets. Like, how can you hit gadgets? Like, the gadgets were at 2 at one point, and then it's like, Boojins are overall, I guess you could say, a fair deck. I mean, yes, Yamato is a card. I understand that. But, so is Stratos, and that's banned. And I doubt that they're going to be banning Yamato for no particular reason. Plus, when you look at the product coming out, we are going to be getting more Boojin stuff in Primal Origins. So, I doubt that they're going to be hitting Boojins at all. If they do, extremely minor. Like, maybe hitting Kaiser Coliseum, but I doubt that. But, they're not going to hit stuff that they have product coming out for. But, in any case, let us get on with the ban list. So, I have it organized from what I think is going to be banned and then brought back to whatever number. And then I have listed to 1, and then listed to 2, and then listed to 3. Abyss Sphere is kind of in between. Same thing with Rooster. Kind of the same thing with Tenki and Tensu as well, because, in my opinion, I think either Tenki and or Tensu both need to either go to 2 or to 1. I think 1 would be a bit harsh on Tenki. So I think Tenki and Tensu should go to 2. Same thing with Abyss Sphere. I said this last format. I think this card needs to go to 2 or to 1. I feel like Mermails are going to be hit on this list because they're not really getting that much support anymore. They're just a good, solid, all-around deck. So I feel like Mermails are going to get hit somehow. Rooster, I feel like should go to 2 or 1. It's just a really busted card. The fact that you could be able to get basically any sort of Fire Fist card you want from your deck straight into your hand is just busted, and then you can just send a dead Fire Formation card on your side of the field to set a new one. It's just like, bleh. But anyways, getting on with the banned cards that I think are going to come back. So I don't think anything's getting banned, for one thing. I don't think that's going to happen. But I would like to see Yatagarasu come back to 1. You guys, this card is not broken anymore. I understand that Messenger of Peace is a card, but in order for that to work, you must have Messenger of Peace on the field with your 1 Yatagarasu. And how much searching ability do we have right now? Like, not much. Sangen's gone. Witch is gone. And another thing, I don't think Sangen or Witch are coming back, just because of the number of cards that they can search. We all know what Yata does. It inflicts damage to your opponent's life points. Your opponent skips the next draw phase. That's fine. In order for this card to be outrageously broken, your opponent has to have no cards in hand, or maybe 1 card in their hand if it's just an absolutely dead card. I understand that spirits are getting more support, which could possibly make Yatagarasu broken, but keep in mind I'm bringing it back to 1, not to 2 or to 3, just to 1 to see how well it does. And on top of that, with spirits getting extra support, this will want to make more players invest in the deck, at least in the TCG, since this is the TCG balance predictions, to pick up spirits because Yatagarasu coming back to 1. So I could see Konami of America bringing this back to 1 to push the product. Same thing with Stratos. Okay, you're releasing a hero structure deck. Either you need to bring back Stratos to 1 or not even bother giving us the structure deck. It's just that simple. Like, I'm aware that Stratos searches like, what, 45 plus cards in like the hero archetype, but it doesn't really matter because you need to bring back Stratos to 1 or give us something in the hero structure deck that is equivalent to Stratos. So either give us Stratos or the hero structure deck is going to be the worst product in number sales that you've ever had. And then moving on to what I think should go to 1. Rekindling. Rekindling is a busted card. If you've ever played against 3-Axis Fire Fist, you know what I'm talking about. All they gotta do is load up with fires in their grave, boom, bring back everything, and they're good to go. If not to 1, put it to 2. This card's absolutely busted, and you can activate as many as you want the same turn. It's not like Call of the Atlanteans, where you can only activate 1 per turn, which is like a Rekindling for Atlanteans, but once Mermels hit the stage floor, so to speak, no one really cared about the Atlantean archetype itself. For what I think is going to go to 2 is Power Bond. Why Power Bond? Power Bond is what makes the Cyber Dragon deck go around. You guys have heard me constantly talk about the Cyber Dragon deck and how much I like it. Now that I figured out some of the rulings, I don't like it as much, but it's still an okay good deck. But the fact that Power Bond is a card, yes, it's one of those cards where yes, you what do you call it? The payoff that happens back to you is good, but it doesn't always necessarily justify the end's means, so to speak. You know, at your end phase, you're going to be taking damage equal to the monster's attack. So you go Power Bond, Zane Truesdale style, drop a Cyber End Dragon, swing for 8,000 per game. And yes, I've done that before. It's really fun. But most likely, if you're a good enough and or smart player and you're not really pushed into a situation where you're forced to use Power Bond, you're just going to use Power Bond once you know you have game, and then there's no bad consequence at the end of that because you use Power Bond in a skillful manner. So I think something really needs to happen to Power Bond. The fact that, you know, it's a polymerization for machines that doubles the attack is crazy, and you keep that monster's doubled attack stats until it's flipped face down or it's sent to the grave. Something just needs to be done with Power Bond. And if they really need a third Power Bond, they can always use a card called Polymerization. It does the exact same thing as Power Bond. You just don't get the double boost. Oh my god! And on top of that, you can fuse into whatever one you want. So, you could do Chimera Tech over Dragon if you wanted to. You're not limited to what you want to do. And then, for what I think should come back to 2 is Compulse. Some people are already posting banlist predictions on Zodiac Duelist and saying that Compulse should come back to 3, and I'm just like, no. Compulse is way too busted of a card. Bring it back to 2, see how well it does, and we should be fine. Now, for what I also think is going to go to 2, Bujingi Crane. Bujingi Crane is like the Kalut. It's the equivalence of Kalut in Bujins. So, I guess you could say that besides Bujingi Crane, then the deck is really getting hit. I know I said at the beginning of this video that I didn't have Bujins on here, but I mistook Bujingi Crane for something else, so I apologize for that. But, I mean, other than Bujin Crane, I mean, the Buja deck doesn't really have anything going for it other than Hare and Turtle, which I don't think they're going to be hitting. I mean, they're main, you know, cards that everybody knows about, so to speak, and that everyone wants to try and prepare for. Crane is like Kalut in the sense of the boost that it gets. It's not like an Honest. It is busted like Honest, but I still think Honest is going to stay at 1, so I'd like to see Crane go to 2 or to 1, just to kind of balance that out, make the deck more even. I already talked about Abyss Sphere, Rooster, Tenki, and Tensu. Book of Moon, I want to see this come back to 2 or 3. It's not that busted of a card. It stops Exceed summons, it stops Synchro summons, and Konami, it can't stop your damn Pendulum summons if the Pendulum monsters are being used as spell cards. So last time I checked, Book of Moon can't flip spell cards face down. So bring this back to 2 or even to 3 is only going to stop your older product, i.e. Synchros, Fusions, Exceeds, etc. So it's not hurting your Pendulum monsters in any way, so bring it back to 2 or to 3 and see where it goes. And now for the 3s. Bestiary. Why? Let's see. They're getting like a couple Glad cards, I believe. Like they're either getting 1 new card or a couple cards in Primal Origins. So this will persuade players more to play the deck because Bestiary isn't that broken of a card. And on top of that, it just makes the deck a little bit better. I mean, it's a good meta call right now. We're seeing it pop up over the regional circuit a little bit again. And it'll persuade more people to play the deck, you know? I mean, you're giving Glads extra support. I mean, you might as well do something about Bestiary, or at the least bring it back to 2. I mean, we've been saying this for so long. And then also, Barrel from the Different Dimension and Self-Destruct Button, obviously. I don't need to explain that card. It's what I'm best known for. Barrel from the Different Dimension. Why? Number 1, it's from my favorite other deck other than my Self-Destruct Button deck. My Burial Dead deck that I won my very first locals with. I love that deck to death. Oh my god, I'm not even going to go off because that's going to just be a random tangent that's going to take up the rest of this video. The problem is that if Burial does come back to 2 or 3, number 1, it gives zombies a good amount of support. but they did bring back a little bit of the zombie support from last format, or I'm sorry, the last ban list, when they brought back Plague and Mizuki and all that. But the problem is that if they do bring back Burial to 2 or to 3, they would have to ban all the big dragons, because even with just 1 barrel from the different dimension, or I'm sorry, with 2 barrel from the different dimension, I believe. I remember seeing it at the beginning of this format where Dragon Rulers were still a deck in the OCG because of Burial coming back to like 2 or 3 or something like that. And the big dragons like were all at 1, I believe. I don't remember what the OCG's ban list is verbatim, so I apologize. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, like Dragon Rulers are still a thing in the OCG if I'm not mistaken. So bringing this back to 3 with 1 of each big dragon would be a big no-no. So you'd have to ban all the big dragons, but on the bright side, you could be able to bring back all the babies back up to 3 because they wouldn't be able to do anything. They'd be completely useless cards. They'd be like Tengu at 1. So bring this back to 3. Unfortunately, you'd have to ban all the big dragons. So I'm hoping that this happens, but I don't think it will. Self-destruct button, bring it back to 3, Konami. Like, for the love of God, who runs it besides me? And I guess Gage, even though he ran the deck like once and showed it off in a video. But that's besides the point. Like, no one's using self-destruct button, Konami. Get over it. Like, Capital G said, I think they're just trying to correct their past mistakes. No, Capital G, they have no reason to ban self-destruct button. I'm sorry. Your videos are great, but no. Self-destruct button has no reason to be banned at all. It's one of those cards that, yes, it is a luck sack stupid card, but how many people run it? It's not that big of a deal. So, that's pretty much it. I already talked about the big dragons and the baby dragons. That's pretty much it for all my balance predictions, you guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, a like or favorite would be appreciated. I don't think anything Xyz-wise is going to be banned or come back. I don't think Dracosac or Big Eye are going to get hit. I can't think of anything else in the meta that's really going to get hit. Karakuri and Gear shouldn't really get hit that much. I mean, I don't see why they would. Maybe Armor. I doubt Trap Sun's going to, even though I would love to see that, so I can just troll even easier with Chainburn. But that's besides the point. I would love to see more Mr. Salty Bitches, and for those of you who watched my Why Sis Atlanta video, when I talked about Mr. Salty Bitch, you know what I'm talking about. But in any case, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to leave a like or favorite if you enjoyed, and if you didn't enjoy it, be sure to let me know in the comments below. But other than that, thank you for watching, and goodbye.